Hey everyone, I want to show you how I come about the results here gathered now from the tournament. Actually, it was a 50-50. I did the best here for Fanduel today, and how I go through the process of setting this up real quick. And it's a 50-50 league where it was, that was basketball 251. But in the first out of, let's say, okay, yeah, it was first out of 100, 50-50 it was. Would have been better to enter into the tournament, but this is how we get the results. At 235 points, first out of 100. Actually was considered a tournament for some reason with an entry fee of $1, but only $1.81. We'll go ahead and view this. I'm going to try to help you see, best of my screen that we can here, and so you can see this and what's going on. And looking at it here, and how I'm going about how I chose this, exactly my entry, and I just took the best pitcher, the only elite one on the slate. And then I went for some obvious, really obvious pick here, Chris Bryant, who had a homer as he was 29% owned, but, didn't want to fade those points, especially not in this kind of contest. And I just took for value plays. Herrera, only 3,100. Rosario, good at 3,900. He was a must play. I'll show you how to come up with your must plays as well, kind of like I did yesterday, as well as Carlos Santana. As the Phillies went off, of course, along with Scooter Gennett. This was enough to be first out of 100 in the contest, as well as Jacoby Jones, a good value at 2,500. So we're going to try to attempt to do this again today, but however, today is a lot more going on the slate. So let's see what we can do and come up with right now, as we will go to find some studs to use. Okay, we're going to try to get a pitcher within this area range that we want, as it's based off a lot of other background research, which I won't have the time to share. But however, we're going to try to roll with something like this, with a low-risk proven player, such as I will consider Kluber instead of fading him in this type of contest. I will also consider Paxton, and we'll leave it at that there. But looking at some other stud players, we'll consider to look at here to show you the real must-play option. We're just going to go over to the best matchup for those purposes. Looking at batters, as the pitchers are obviously displayed first. One of the best options, although very expensive. You're not going to fit him in with Kluber. Trout. We could also go with Francisco Lindor. Has a really good matchup versus a switch hitter, Wade Miley. Too bad for Wade Miley. And who else we got as a must-play? Rhys Hoskins. We've also got potentially, I'll pass on Dickerson. I'm just going to look for a guy who has a better weighted, as I'm showing here, weighted on-base percentage. So looking at definitely like some Pirates as a cheaper bat. Some Marte. Give me some of these guys here. I like versus Hellickson. He's a decent pitcher, but we're going to take him as well. He's got 5 homers this year, comparable to Marte's numbers. And we got Nick Castellanos. These guys are up hitting at least 5th or more in the batting as well to take note of. So we're just going to watch a couple more guys here before we move on, as considered must plays. Any more hitters we can find? Adrian Gonzalez versus Luis Castillo is going to do very well versus him. I bet you for that price, we need him anyways, as I already watched him. And looking at, let's say, it's pretty hot in Texas. It's a good matchup versus Fears for Joey Gallo. At that price, we could do that. Okay, so even though I usually think of him as a tournament options, we could even go with, well, let's just stop at there as far as evaluating those guys and go ahead and get our lineup ready here. Okay, see what comes up. It's interesting to see what the system comes up, with as far as the options that I gave it, between the two pitchers, and see what we can afford to do. So I will go with either pitcher. I don't mind, because either pitcher is worthy of being in this type of lineup that we looked at and using here. So waiting for that. Another thing I noticed there while it's coming up is that I noticed throughout the day the lines are changing. Have been a lot recently. I don't know if it's been more, I guess, more weather and yeah, well, weather factors, wind and so forth, that raises the lines. But don't necessarily buy into that, like as far as a windy game or something like that. We're expecting one maybe in, I forget where, what matchup it was in, but don't worry about things like that so much. And the analysts, they also come up with their best plays of the day and all for different reasons, and look at some stats. But these are the most reliable stats for you to really go by right now. So we're still waiting on that. And looking like, just want to check the slate time, and it's just taking a little bit of time here. Usually, this comes up in about 3 seconds, so that's not ever usually a problem. Just checking the connection. As far as anything else, you just want to compare and look at your best options. Going also to DraftKings, it's helpful to me to look and compare pricing and see look at their determined value to pricing there, just to get a better idea of some great value on Fanduel. So we're going to try to refresh this again because I don't know what happened, because that is not usually what happens at all. Okay, let's see. I want you to see the best optimal lineup for today, even though it's early in the day. It's about 12 noon. To give you a good idea, there are no weather concerns, so it's not going to be a whole lot of changes other than batting, lining, lineup setting and orders. So that's what's going on for the day. And this, of course, can be adjusted to set it to DraftKings, as this gives you, a really good estimate of when you look in there, whether you're in fantasy studs or overall plays. There's two different options on this menu. I'm not going to bring that up, but just showing that there are also overall projections there. If you just want to plug a guy in, let's say for one of these 50-50 type games, has the best value there, highest point total, which comes down to the bottom line. There's some of the stats can get a little obscure and not really care about. You just want to get to the bottom line of getting the most fantasy points scored. So this is what this lineup here can potentially do. With the cheap catcher and first base, I'm already excited about it. I'm going to play this exact lineup because all these are my targeted guys, including Winker. For the Reds, Duvall. That's a little red stack. 4 guys there. A guy for Detroit. A guy for, surprisingly, let's see, Washington, Sierra. Great. I really love it. So let's, check out that lineup, and we'll see how it does tomorrow. Thank you. Oh, and also check in the description link for the tool. You also get a free report on how to go about some basics to intermediate level stuff for learning, better fantasy baseball, MLB, and DFS play. Thank you.